Hey guys, it's Kyle and Renee here, and welcome to learning about the factors that influence gene expression. Before we start, this video is brought to you by BRB Music, making an impact through music. Today's video is also sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, one of the biggest mobile role-playing games of 2021, and it's totally free. Currently, almost 10 million users have joined Raid over the last 6 months, and it's one of the most impressive games in its class, with detailed models, environments, and smooth 60 frame per second animations. All the champions in the game can be customized with unique gear that changes your strategic buffs and abilities. The dungeon bosses have some ridiculous skills of their own, and figuring out the perfect party and strategy to overtake them is a lot of fun. Currently, with over 300,000 reviews, Raid has almost a perfect score on the Play Store. The community is growing fast, and the highly anticipated new Faction Wars feature is now live. You might even find my squad out there in the arena. So what are you waiting for? Go to the video description, click on the special link, and you'll get 50,000 silver and a free epic champion as part of the new player program to start your journey. Good luck, and I'll see you there. To start off, we're going to go over the vocab throughout gene expression and regulation section in Exploration 2 to refresh us on what we've learned so far. So first, we have epigenetics, and it's a study of changes in organisms caused by modification of gene expressions rather than the actual alteration of the genetic code itself.
Transcription factors are proteins that bind to DNA sequences and control gene expression.
Introns are the extra footage in the mRNA molecule that take form of the nucleotide segments.
Exons are nucleotide segments that code for parts of protein.
Now we will move on to the factors that influence gene expression. We will not only be learning about what determines whether a gene gets turned on or off, but also the internal and external factors that influence gene expression. So internal factors take place as an organism develops, and its cells take on different structures by expressing different combinations of genes. There are many internal factors, such as one being the genetic makeup of the zygote. Many of the instructions for cell differentiation are found in the zygote's genome. These genes are expressed early in the embryonic development and will soon begin to differentiate. Another example of internal factors that affect cell differentiation would be the unequal distribution of molecules in the cytoplasm of the zygote during early stages of division. As seen in this diagram, you got cell 1, this is the cytoplasm, and then the torch is equal to molecules that are distributed, and this is cell 2 cytoplasm. So, we'll read from here again. It's going to be a bit of a repeat, but an example of an internal factor in the zygote is the unequal distribution of the molecules in the cytoplasm of the zygote during early stages of division. As cells divide, some end up with higher concentrations of certain molecules. These molecules regulate gene expression and help determine what type of cell each becomes. So moving on to the next kind of diagram, which is where differentiated cells in certain areas will have an effect on others in its vicinity to be similar to it. So, cells in a developing embryo influence cells around them by sending and receiving diffusible molecules that act on signals. These signals come from the molecules embedded in the cell membrane. During this process, some proteins have to turn genes on and off to direct the development path of a cell. In this case, this is the differentiated cell, aka it's kind of like the cell 2 because it's already differentiated with all the molecules on its side. And in this case, in the cells near it, it's affecting them with the red panes being the influence that it has on them. And so, a particular differentiated cell in a particular area determines what cells in its vicinity will become and what their function will be. It is in this process that some genes will be turned on and off. As an example, while the brain is being developed by cells, the genes in the cell that are used to develop a stomach are turned off, so that the brain will not produce stomach acid. Now, moving on to Renee.
So over here we just have a small little model of epigenetics of genes turning on and off. And then also what we have here are the transcription factors, which we learned about on Monday with the promoters and all the proteins that help regulates gene expression. So moving on, we're going to talk about external factors that also affect gene expression. So the first one we're going to talk about here are the two types of foxes. So there are many factors such as light and heat, which we're going to learn about later. And so, as an example, the Arctic fox fur colors change from a gray brown, we're just going to pretend that is gray brown, to a whitish color during the winter. This change in fur color is due to the differences in melatonin secretions. So, in the winter, when the day length is shorter, melatonin is secreted, so the pigment melanin is not produced, and the fox's fur is white. In the summer, when the seasons and when the daylight hours are longer, melatonin expression is repressed. The melanin is produced, and the fox's fur is a gray-brown color. So that's for light. And then for temperature, here it's also just also a part of it. So we're going to come over here where there's going to be crops, which is also affected by heat. So trees and other plants have mechanisms to adapt in temperature, most of which functions through the control of gene expression. So in extreme heat conditions, which causes stress in plants, multiple genes interact to reduce the rate of photosynthesis and stop plant growth, as you can see. By scientists being able to study the relation between gene expression and photosynthesis, genetics are now able to work together and improve the stability of crop plants during extreme weather conditions. So, basically, in conclusion, there are many internal and external factors that influence gene expression.
Internet safety is more important than ever, and that's why today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, NordVPN. Protect your privacy from prying eyes with military-grade encryption. Begin your subscription to NordVPN using the promo code Biology2021, as shown on screen, for 55% off of a 1-year subscription. Thank you everybody for watching, and we hope you have a wonderful day.